You're good.
I was born on December 9th, 1996. Throughout my research, nothing really jumped out to me, but by the time of the 90s, everything started settling in and people didn't have to worry about war or the economy going bad or terrorism. Mainly, I would like to talk about the economy and the cost of food and everyday spending and the costs of people's actions. The three topics that I've chosen are the largest strike on South Korea, the first production of an electric car in the modern era, and the average cost of everyday spending. The first thing I'd like to talk about is the largest strike on South Korea. This occurred on December 28th of 1996. This basically happened because the government just passed a new law for a new labor law. This basically made it easier for employers to fire their employees. And this also restricted their labor organization rights. The people that were mostly affected were automotive and shipbuilding businesses, and they immediately showed their disgust by throwing riots and protests. During the riots, they would throw rocks at some 3,000 police versus their 5,000 marching members, according to CNN News. After all of the fighting, it was about 3 days, and this costed the country almost about $1 billion in business. So after that, the government declared that protests and strikes were illegal and punishable by jail time. The next thing I'd like to talk about is the electric car. This car was launched and became available in December of 1996. Its top speed was 80 miles per hour and it could reach 160 miles away. This car was produced until 2003, but there were setbacks to owning the vehicle. You couldn't actually own the vehicle, you could only rent it or lease it. So basically, once they stopped their production, the company that actually made the cars reclaimed and destroyed all of the electric cars that they had made. For the ones that remained, they donated them to engineering schools and museums. They were not reclaimed, but they were still deactivated so nobody could use them. The last thing I'd like to talk about is everyday spending and everyday costs. Back then, gas was only $1.26 a gallon, and milk was only $2.73 a gallon as well. Also, bread was only 88 cents. These loaves of bread were only 88 cents back in the 1996. And now, they're a lot more than that. Also, new cars were $16,003 on average, according to Gene Stepney. These prices are astonishing, and it's hard to remember back to the time where all these prices were so low. Don't some of you remember when your parents and grandparents would come up to you and tell you that gas was only 50 cents a gallon? Well, sadly, this is true, even though in the back of your head, you didn't really believe it. But this only shows how much the economy has boosted and how much advancement has happened throughout the years. There's not very many interesting things that happened in December of 1996, but one thing is for sure that you can gain from my research is that back then you didn't have to worry about getting a job or going to war or terrorist attacks. At this time and age, people were progressing with technologies and new advancements. December of 1996 didn't hold these advancements, but hopefully you have benefited from my research. Thank you.